Hi, in this video I'm going to present you the library I just created. This library is called Premath and it's made for predictive math. Basically, right now the only model is called linear and it's for linear regression. So you give it two lists in Python and then it can return you a lot of data about what the information will be in the future. So first I'm going to GitHub. Here's is the repository in GitHub. You have all the main files like license, readme, setup, and here, well, you have the init, and here's the model linear. So as you can see, you have the init function that takes two parameters, x data and y data, and then it initializes basically the model. And then you can calculate out stuff like you have predict y that takes a parameter called xpred. This basically returns the prediction for y given certain x. And this is the same, but it predicts x given certain y. Then you have, for example, r, that is the Pearson correlation coefficient, that it goes from -1 to 1 and basically tells you uh, the relation there is between x and y. And then you have r2, that is basically r squared. And this gives you basically the correlation there is. It goes from 0 to 1, and 1 means they're totally related. Basically, it tells you how good the model is. Then the m is the p is the intercept, and then you have eq that gives you the linear equation in the form of y equal mx plus b. And what what this model does basically. Now then, this model, this library is uploaded to PyPy. You can upload it with pip install Premath using your CMD in Windows. So we're going to do that first. Go to the CMD, put pip install Premath. I already have it installed, but yeah, in your case it would install it. In my case it says requirement already satisfied. So right now, once you have it installed, you can use it in Python. For example, here's there are a few ways of of importing the library. So I'm going to explain some of those. First, you have from premath import linear. What you're doing here is import from the repository or from the library premath, import the model linear. So now you initialize it. First, linear, the function you see here, class linear, takes two parameters, like I said, that are x data and y data. Those are past parameters. That means it's like the history. You have two data that are related. One is x, one is y, and you want to predict y, for example, for a certain x. So we're going to create variables that are lists, of course. X equal, let's say 1, 2, 3. Y equal 20, 21, 22. And now you can create a variable called model, for example. You can give it whatever name you want, of course. And you put now linear dot linear with a big R. Remember, the model, the archive basically, is linear dot py with double R. But the class is linear also with double R, but with the second R in basically in capital letter. So this takes two parameters, like I said, that in this case is called x and y. Now you can take the information. For example, you're gonna calculate, I don't know, for example, y future, you know, and now you put model dot the name of the function that was predict y, and for which x you want to predict y. We're gonna say 10, for example. And now you can put print y future. This gives you an error, and that's why I put an extra letter here. Okay, now it should work. Yes, 29. That's the value of I when x is 20. Now we want, for example, I'm not going to show you every function here because that would take a longer time, but I'm going to show you the most important ones. Now I show you y future, and now I'm going to show you one function that doesn't take a parameter like r, for example. So r is equal to model dot dot r, doesn't take any parameter like I said, and print r. Now we run it. It gives again 29, now 0.99999. That means that if this model is quite good, I mean it's quite related between x and y, because if x goes up a certain amount, y probably will go up in the same proportion. Now we can also use r square with model dot r square, well r2 in this case, and print r2. And it gives you almost the same. Now r2 you can multiply it by 100, and that'll give you the percentage. That in this case it will be 99.9999%. So it's basically perfect. This is how perfect is the model. In this case, obviously the data is quite like, it's obviously related because it's 1, 2, 3, 20, 21, 22. You know? So that's why the prediction is very good, because the difference between each element of each one of the lists is basically the same. So it's easy to predict it. Now, if you would have 20, 19, 21, 23, 18, something like that, it would be less related, and the certainty of the model would be obviously lower. You normally look for some for something that is at least 70%, accurate. And this is obviously very, very high, 99.9%, almost 100. So, like I said, there are different ways of importing this library. Another way would be, for example, you can put here as lr or whatever you want. You can name this how you want. And here, linear, you could change it for lr. And this will give you exactly the same answer. You see, exactly the same. You're just changing the name of what you're using. However, there are even more different ways of doing it. Like, for example, from Premath import, you know, and with this symbol, what you're doing is you're importing basically every model of the library. In this case, the only model of the library is linear. But in the future, I may create more, and this will import all models. And here, well, LR wouldn't work. You would have to put linear again, and you cannot put as here. You cannot put as, because you're importing all libraries. I mean, you're importing all models from the library. So Python wouldn't know what you're naming as LR, for example, or whatever name you put it. You need to put the name of the model exactly here. And here we run it, and it will work. Yes, it works. Now there is another way that is a bit different, that would be putting directly import Premath. But in this case, you would have to change linear. Linear wouldn't work in this case. You would have to put Premath. and run, and it returns the same. However, you can put obviously also import Premath as PM, for example. Here you could change PM, and it would work. Yes, it works. So my recommendation is to always use like probably from Premath import linear, so you directly import the model, because also in a future this what I'm doing right now, import Premath as PM, could fail, because if I add new models, Python could maybe not detect it. However, for now it works. Like I'm saying, in future versions it might not work. So well, thank you a lot for watching this video. I hope this library is useful for you, and goodbye.